Hello, everyone. Welcome. Well, it is reveal day for the Spellbinders card kit of the month for December 2021. And I'm going to show you what is inside this fun little box here, as well as create several cards using its contents. So this month, the box is called Beauty is Everywhere. And it really does include some beautiful pattern paper and ephemera pieces and stamps and everything. So let's take a peek at this kit. First up is the kit contents page and the inspiration. They show you 3 beautiful cards that you could create. And on the flip side, it shows you how to use the dies. So let's look at the dies right now. This was my favorite item from the kit this time. You get a beautiful frilly border die, as well as some dies to make up butterflies. Has the outline and then the insert piece that cuts out all of the details, as well as some floral pieces. So I had fun with this one. I'm going to store it on my Spellbinders magnet so I don't lose any of the pieces. And I can just keep it right on my desk. Here are your adhesives and your card bases and envelopes. You get 10 of each. This time around, you get some really pretty pink sequins. And here is the ephemera pack. You get 2 of each shape. And then I love it when they include these little chipboard sticker frames. Let me pull these out and show you what they look like. Some look like Polaroids and some are just your square frames. Here is the stamp set. More beautiful things and sentiments to stamp out. And then the pattern paper. Let me open this up and flip through these patterns. I like this pattern paper because they're not all just matte patterns. You have some glitter on some of them and some glossy images, or I should say glossy patterns like this one. And then I love that black piece. And you just get a nice variety of patterns. And then you get 2 of each, so it starts all over again here. And it is a lightweight, perfect for layering pattern paper. You also get some pretty butterfly stickers, as well as some dimensional die-cut shapes. And then let's look at the cardstock. So you get an orange, a light blue, white, black, pink, and I think this is like an oyster color, dark pink, a double-sided gold foil, and a green. For my first card, I like to keep it really simple, and I'm actually going to use the double-sided adhesive this time. I usually use my dot liner just because it is quicker, but I really love their double-sided adhesive. And if you take this kit on the go, you have everything inside that you need to create these cards. So I'm just going to press the double-sided adhesive into the pattern paper. And then I like to use my all-in-one tool to peel up the release paper. And it does take a little more time, but I just wanted to use it this time. I have quite the stock of this double-sided adhesive. I cut this pattern so it's a little bit smaller than my white card base. Let's take the center backing off of this. And look at these cute stripes. I'm a sucker for stripes. We'll center this on the card base. I'm going to use the chipboard frame, the one that has the text block on it. And this also has a release paper on the back. However, it's not very sticky. It's tacky, but not sticky. It won't hold, I don't think. So I'm going to add some glue behind this. I'm using the Precision Craft glue that you can purchase at Spellbinders. And I'm going to put this on at an angle. So this is a really fast card, and then I'm going to use a sticker, a dimensional sticker, to put inside this frame. I liked this one with the black border. And again, I'm going to reinforce it with some liquid glue and just pop this inside the frame. The sentiment is an ephemera shape. Let me pop out the inner bit here. And then I'm going to use some of the foam squares from the kit to add even a little more dimension. So I'm going to put quite a few on the back of this sentiment, just so it doesn't sag. And then I'll pop it right on the frame. I don't usually add glue behind these foam pieces, but it was out and so I used it. Here is a close-up look. I used some of the sequins around this panel, and I always like to, or at least I always try to decorate the insides of my cards. On card number 2, I have my pattern paper all ready to go. I just peeled off the release paper. I love this black piece because it's not just a flat black. It has like lights and darks in it. Thought it was very interesting. I'm going to use that behind these butterfly ephemera pieces. I'm going to pop up the ephemera piece sentiment. After I use the little squares inside the foam piece, I like to cut it up and use that as well. And this sentiment says, enjoy the little things. I'll set this aside for a minute and glue down these butterflies. These are just going down flat with some glue. But that pattern paper is just interesting enough to carry this off. And then you have these pretty butterflies. So it is quite a simple card again. But I would love to get a card like this in the mail. I think it's just pretty. And then I'll add a little more glue to this and pop it up in the middle. I'm going to put a lot of sequins around this panel, both the matte pink and the sparkly pink. And here is a look at the inside. You can really make up some pretty note cards with this set, or some everyday non-occasion cards just to send out into the mail. Okay, it's time to play with the dies, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have a piece of watercolor paper out and my watercolors. I'm going to be doing some very fun and easy painting. This is just some mindless painting. I just enjoy putting the paint down on the paper and seeing the pretty colors kind of painting. And I'm going to pull the colors straight out of the pans. I'm not going to be doing any mixing. Since the butterflies are on the small side, I'm going to be doing just little dots across this paper. I'll mix in some oranges and pinks together. I want a wide variety of colors. Next, I'll put some orange and yellow together. I just want it kind of dappled looking and interesting looking. I'm going to put down some greens for my floral pieces, or from my floral dies. And I'm adding lots of different shades of green. And also some teals. One of my butterflies is going to be a teal butterfly. I did not pre-wet the paper. I'm just using a dry on wet technique. So the paper is dry, but I put the wet paint onto it. It doesn't spread as much this way. It does a little bit when I mix the colors or add two different colors right next to each other. And then once I'm done, I'm going to cover this page completely. And once I'm done, I'm going to allow it to air dry, or you could shoot it with your heat tool if you'd like. And then I'm going to add some little touches of gold onto this. I'm just putting little lines and zigzags and dots. And it's kind of hard to see on this bright paint, but when you see it catch the light, it really shows up beautifully. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just putting down the gold. And I'll go all across this panel. And then I will again allow that to air dry before I start cutting it out with the dies. Okay, here it is all dry. And now I can put the outline of the butterfly on this page and just see where I want to cut it out. I'll also cut out my florals as I go along. Here's a green leaf sprig. and some flowers and the centers to these flowers. And then I'll just take it to my die cut machine and cut these out. So here is the first pass. Isn't that pretty? And then I'll pop out the inner pieces that really shows the antenna off. So I do this several times until this paper is completely cut out. And then I'll have a bunch of butterflies and flowers to use on my next 2 cards. I'm going to use these. If you don't want to do this, you can, of course, just use the pattern paper or colored cardstocks or whatever you'd like. Okay, so here is my pattern paper. Look at this cute alphabet pattern. That would look really cute behind the butterflies. And then I cut out the inner piece of the butterfly with black cardstock. The pattern paper and the black outlines to these butterflies will coordinate really well together. I'll glue the black outline onto the watercolor butterflies, and I'm just putting glue in the middle. This will allow me to fluff up the wings and make it look a little more dimensional. But look how cute they look on this pattern paper. As you see, I also cut out the border die with that watercolor paper. And the butterflies, I'm just going to adhere down flat once I have the outlines glued on to them. I'll put 3 on the front of this card and just tilt them different ways. But before we adhere the butterflies, let's glue down these border edges. I'll use little dabs of glue behind this, and then 1 strip of glue. But I like the variation of color on these borders from that watercolor painting. Let's glue on the second one. And I'm leaving plenty of room for the butterflies down this center column. Okay, so let's glue these down next. And it's hard to catch all of the intricate details on camera, but close up you can see all of the gold in the painting and all of the different colors. It just looks so pretty. The sentiment comes from the ephemera pack, and it says, "With love." But before we attach the sentiment, let's add some pretty gems down the centers of these butterflies. I'm putting 3 on each. The die set does come with a body for the butterflies, but I just wanted to use some pretty gemstones. I'm using some pink ones, some green, and some silver. And it just adds a nice touch of elegance to the card. The sentiment I'm going to pop up with more foam squares. And then I'll just put this between these 2 butterflies. And here is a close-up look at the finished card. I love how the butterfly wings kind of pop up. That's so much fun. I used the 4th butterfly on the inside. And now on to card number 4. I'm going to use this cute typewriter sticker. I'm just cutting around the acetate so that I can figure out where I want it on my card. I want to pull off these flowers because I'm going to be using the ones that I die cut. I'll just save that small sticker for another time. And then the pattern paper is really pretty. It has some text block on it and lots of different things going on. I'll start gluing some of the flowers right on the typewriter. The sentiment on this typewriter says, "Write your own story." So I'm just going to grab the glue to put my pattern paper down. Some of the flowers I'm going to pop up with foam. I pulled out some really teeny tiny foam squares from my stash to do this. And I'm just building my bouquet around this typewriter. And I decide I'm going to attach this typewriter to the bottom right corner. There's going to be a lot of empty space on this card, but the pattern paper is interesting enough to carry it off. I had a lot of fun just creating some non-Christmas cards with this kit. I think I'm kind of burnt out with the Christmas cards. I've created a lot this year. So it was just fun for me creating some non-winter, non-holiday cards. Next, I'm going to put a bunch of gems around this typewriter. All of the gems I'm using are from Spellbinders, and I love that they have the different sizes. I've used up most of the larger ones on these acetate sheets, but the really teeny tiny ones are really nice to have. Those are the ones I used on the bodies of the butterflies. And here's the finished card. And a look at the inside. I just used pattern paper and cut out the little seal on the pattern paper for that circle. Card number 5 is going to be another really fast and easy one. The pattern paper with the text block on it just makes me happy to look at. I love text block on pattern paper. So I'm going to put that on the card base first. I'm going to use another Polaroid chipboard sticker, but this time I'm going to pop it up with some foam strips. And I'll put this along all of the sides, just try to make it as even as possible. Then I can peel off the release paper, and I'm going to attach it to another pattern paper that's text block, this black and white text block pattern. I like to give my frames a little bit of dimension. Then I can just use some liquid glue to attach this onto the card. This is going down straight for a change. Then I'm going to use another sticker, a dimensional sticker. I had to use this one. It was just too pretty not to use. I'll add a little bit of liquid glue to reinforce the sticker behind it. I'm going to put some sequins around this panel. The sentiment on this flower says, "Beauty is everywhere," but I am going to pull in the second ephemera shape that says "love" that I used on the very first card. And I'm just going to glue that down flat at the bottom of this frame. And here it is all done. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that this was inspiring and fun to watch. I will put all of the links to the supplies that I used in the description box below. So have fun with your December card kit, everyone. I have more December club kit videos coming out very soon. I hope you all have a wonderful crafty day. Bye.